See, what's odd to me is in the Old Testament days, when people had a physical ailment, the first thing they did was they actually went to the priest. Now, it wasn't that everything was a spiritual thing at all, but what they were really realizing was that we're really kind of not disconnected people. Like, we're people that have a body, a soul, and a spirit, and these things all work together. In the New Testament days, one of the first instructions that the leaders of the church gave to people who were sick was to go see the elders of the church. And I would remind you that Jesus himself, even when he healed lepers, he often sent them to the priest to confirm that the healing had happened. But think about the ramifications of all of that, because today, if you run stats, in fact, I've got it in your workbook on page 10 there. If you look at it, there was a popular poll that was run just asking people, hey, where do you get medical advice? Or where do you go if something might be wrong with you that you need fixed? The stats are something like this. 50% of the people call their primary care physician. That's great. It's incredible that we have doctors that we can have a relationship with, that we can actually get on the phone. 31%, catch this, rely on what they get in the media. 5% talk to a relative or friend, 5% self-help book, 4% learn it in schools or courses, 2% talk to a pharmacist. What's odd about this is no one that made the list in any kind of recognizable proportion anyway, no one ever consulted the Creator. No one consulted a prophet. No one consulted a pastor. No one consulted a priest. And it's not that a medical doctor is something we shouldn't go to. We should. But if God's the Creator and if he's the source of all healing, like at some point you'd think that he might have made the list. So it was only in the 20th century that we started disconnecting physical from spiritual. We started going for this diagnosis instead of looking at the whole total person. Now, let me give you some of my presuppositions before we get into all of this. One of my presuppositions is that you can experience supernatural power right now. Another of my presuppositions is that the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional, that they're all connected, and sometimes the roots of what's going on emotionally or spiritually, they may actually manifest themselves physically. In Ezekiel 34:4, God actually talked through that prophet, and he said something like this, just my paraphrase again. He said, verse 4, where are those who are skilled to heal? He was talking about his leaders, talking about the leaders of the people of God, like his spiritual leaders. Where are those who are skilled to heal? And he said that